This is an uncensored podcast about sex, sexuality, gender, and body stuff. Listener discretion is advised. The views and opinions expressed in this podcast are solely those of the person or persons sharing them. Some names have been changed to protect the anonymity of its participants. Hello, my friends. I thought I'd start this episode singing. Hi, guys. Oh, man. What a good-ass beginning to a very amazing episode. I'm not going to talk shit about my own fucking podcast. What were you thinking? What's up? It's Drew Michael, and this is Make Sex With Me, a podcast that is created late at night when, well, it's not quite the witching hour, but I am a bitch. Does that mean anything? I just pulled myself out of like a fucking Twitter feed cycle. And can I just say, I probably talked about this before. I hate Twitter now. I hate it now. It's just getting worse and worse and worse. If somebody posts on Twitter, like there'll be like, we talked about like the, this is his face, this is his penis kind of posts. And I'll click on them. And like anything that's a picture, if I click on it now, it says, this is what it says. It says, seems like you lost connectivity. We'll keep retrying. It's like, excuse me? Every time. If I click on a video, it's fine. This is a video of a guy who has his dick out in the back of an Uber.
Huh? My car is going to. I'm sorry. What's it? Last day. Thank you. You said your car was what? Yeah, no empty only. No problem. Okay. Oh, no. You sure? I'm sorry. Okay, only empty, no. Oh, no. Oh, yeah. No, come. Oh, okay. No come. Yeah, I won't make a mess.
Oh my god. Okay, I wasn't going to talk about that, but that was interesting. He said, "Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, you noticed that I'm masturbating in the right behind you without your consent? Oh, I'm sorry." Okay, well, that's on Twitter. That's the kind of thing that's on Twitter. And then the guy just said, oh, just no coming. Just don't come in my car. Oh, okay, that's cool. Thanks. All right. Well, I guess that's kind of like New York though too. Like New Yorkers are just like, oh, you're jerking off? Okay, yeah. Just don't come on my car seats or on me or anything. Oh, P.S. There was this other video. God, we just got right into it. We just went right into it. Sorry, because I almost went back into a fucking Twitter cycle. Like, I'm recording right now, and I just went... I just, like, totally zoned out. There's another thing that I noticed the other day. It was, like... It looked like a fake, uncut, brown penis. It was kind of like little, but kind of fake looking. Like it looked just like if a kindergartner like made a penis out of some Play-Doh or something, kind of. I don't know. It was a little too on the nose or on the head, I guess. It looked just too much like a penis for it to be a penis. It was. Does that make sense? But it was like this guy walking up behind a girl on a park bench, and he just started peeing on her. And then she's like, "What the what?" And then she's like screaming, and it's like, "What the fuck?" Honestly, like, what the fuck? Why? I mean, that's either not real, in which case this person was trying to like get likes or dislikes or just like, get people to click. It was clickbait, right? Or heaven forbid it is real. And it's like, why? Why would you do that? That's so fucked up. And then why would you take a video and then why would you put it on the internet? So fucked up. Anyway, this is Make Sex With Me. I said that. Hello, hello. You guys, this is gonna be a Twitter finds episode. Nothing from Reddit today, but I did screenshot or screen record some videos from Twitter, formerly known as Twitter, but like the better one. And I just want to play these videos for you, and then we'll talk about them. That's what we're going to do today. It's going to be really great, really well planned, really well thought out episode. As per usual, please rate, review, subscribe. That'd be great. I love that. It keeps us going. And yeah, you can email us, makesexwithmepodcast@gmail.com. And that's that. Are we ready? Okay, let's find the first video. Hold on, I have an itch. And it's in two places. Do you ever like get an itch and you're like you can't find it? I don't know if that means I have like nerve damage. It's always the worst possible outcome, right? Okay. This isn't a screen grab, but I did screenshot this, and this is something I saw. It's a picture of Oprah with her eyes closed and like the wind hitting her, and she's like really feeling something, which I feel like she does a lot. But anyway, this is from the official Lady Bunny, and I think it is actually the official Lady Bunny. It's a quote allegedly from Oprah Winfrey. And it says, "A shaved hole is a busy hole because you will never see grass on a used road." That's fucking hilarious. A shaved hole is a busy hole because you will never see grass on a used road. That is very, very funny. But I'm still not going to shave my fucking hole. That's that. Okay. I really hope Oprah didn't say that, but I also kind of hope she did. It's, I like kind of want both. All right, so I have 3 different videos here. The first one, I'm just going to play it. Oh, wait, hold on.
In their coffee to...
Here we go.
Starbucks uses gay semen in their coffee to make it taste good. Where did that come from?
Gays tend to love each other's semen, and it flavors up the coffee. They like the taste of it. There's no doubt about that.
How do you know that it flavors the coffee?
Well, because that's what it does.
At what point are they collecting the semen? When are they inserting it in my drink?
Oh, it's already in the process. It's already in the pipeline. And by the way, Starbucks have just introduced a flat white drink, latte or mocha. I'm not sure which it is.
That's a cover for semen, right?
It is eerily as if they're almost mocking me, like they're saying, "La ha 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 ha, we'll show you that we're doing it." And the stupid Starbucks audience of patronage doesn't have enough sense to believe you, Manning. We'll actually we'll hide it in plain sight.
Starbucks uses...
Oh my god. What? And also, where did I find this? It says, wait, hold on. It says, oh, fuck me. How do I work this fucking phone? Um, I'm trying to see what how do I, like, rewind to, like, see the little thing? It says, this was found on Twitter. It was at Sugar's More Cake. Sugar S'more Cake. At Sugar S'more Cake. Okay. So it looks like some kind of like like an internet news show. Um, and I have no idea who the two people are talking, but I just find it so hilarious. It's on par with so many um, like conspiracy theories that are out right now, and I'm terribly afraid that like a lot of the conspiracy theories are just like way too easily accepted by way too many people. Like it's crazy. Like I want to say that at least 48% of our country believes shit that they hear way too easily. At least. Now the good news is that 52% maybe doesn't. But of that 52%, a good amount of people will believe shit that they hear eventually. Right. So that's no good. But I want to say that anybody who would possibly vote for Trump would believe that Starbucks puts gay male semen in their coffee. Oh man. Well, I don't know if that's exactly. I don't think they all believe that. I'm just saying that they would if they were told. If they were told by Trump, they certainly would. That's for fuck sure. Um, let's just talk about let's I almost said unwind, unravel that conspiracy theory. First of all, gays do like the taste of semen. So there's no doubt about it. That man was right. That was that was three truths right there. Um, well, that was one truth, but you know that game, it's like two truths and a lie. There's no lie. There's just no lie. The gays love the semen. We do. And when we say the gays, I mean like gay guys. Um, not gay girls. They like something else. Um, and I won't make like some 1990s gay jokes about what lesbians like. I'm not going to do that. But if it were up to me, I might say knitting. But I'm not going to say that because it's 2024 now. Uh, Although I did get my one lesbian friend into knitting, but I got her into knitting. So it wasn't her fault. But then she got real into knitting. And there was a fucking, actually, this was before COVID. This was like, just because she was unemployed. So that was kind of like not kicking her while she was down, but she was vulnerable. And it was like, you know, she had nothing else to do. And I was like, oh, hey, let's go to Michael's and get some yarn. And she was like, what is this thing that you're speaking of? And I'd sit and knit with her. And then we found these like programs on Netflix. It was just like you sit and watch people knit, and that's all that happens. And it's so fucking relaxing. You know what? We were preparing for the pandemic. Okay. Wow, that was an unnecessary tangent. Semen in Starbucks. I think that there isn't, and I'm going to tell you why I think that. It's just not something that is sustainable. Okay. Most gay loads get wasted. They really do. They're not making babies with that semen load. They're not selling it to Starbucks. Starbucks isn't buying your semen loads. Um, I guess if you wanted to make that theory possible, it would have to be like, I mean, Starbucks would have to be paying people for their semen loads. It'd have to be probably Starbucks employees in some way. And I would say that Starbucks does employ a lot of gay people. Um, they're definitely sending some of these people to college. There might have to be some kind of like you scratch my back, I scratch yours. Like you get to go to college, but we're gonna need that spunk. That's possible. So I'm starting to think maybe this is right. Um, I am a big old gay, so I mean I'm not gonna stop drinking Starbucks. This only makes me want to drink it more. Um, Down the throat is one of the ways that we can get semen in us without it causing any too much harm. There's not a lot of STIs you can contract by getting the semen down the mouth, down the throat. Although I did get gonorrhea in my throat. So, but I don't blame the semen for that. I don't think anyway. I blame the dirty dickhead that was fucking my throat. um, yeah. I blame that one white guy in a sea of brown men that I hooked up with. And I just, what, it was weird. When it was happening, I was saying to myself, I feel like I'm getting gonorrhea in my throat. I felt it. I felt the contraction of the gonorrhea. So anyway, yeah, I'm willing to believe that Starbucks is putting gay semen in there. Now, is it gay semen? Is it, and how do we know? I mean, if I were a Starbucks employee and I was like, oh God, I gotta go to college. I can't work at Starbucks my whole life. But they're only gonna let me go if I give them my gay semen. I'm not gay, but I guess I could act gay for the entire time I'm working at Starbucks and donate my semen, and pretend it's gay semen. Also, like, does gay semen look different under a microscope? I'm so glad I didn't say telescope. I always accidentally say telescope when I mean microscope. God, it's so embarrassing. I also, did he even say gay semen? Did I just make it up? I don't know. I also love the way he pronounces latte. It's almost like he was like, I'm saying it wrong? Question mark. So you really know he knows a lot about what he's talking about. He also said the Starbuck audience, or the Starbuck, I don't know, he was talking about people that, the patrons or whatever. He called them the Starbuck patrons. And it's like, it's called Starbucks. Everybody knows. It's called Starbucks. There's an S on the beginning and the end of the word. Don't fuck up the name of what you're trying to, like, create a conspiracy theory about. We're not going to believe you. But unfortunately, 48% of us still will. Anyway, that was a nice, light, refreshing way to start. Also, can I just say, I'm recording this in the last days of May, which I think is the greatest month of the entire year. For obvious reasons. I was born in May. Thank you. I just turned 38. Thanks so much. Don't fucking tell anybody. I'm only telling you my real age. Listener. But June is busting out all over. And if anyone is gay enough to understand that reference. And it's coming, and it's Pride Month. So that's really exciting. And I love Pride Month in a red state because it's the one time a year when I can do gay shit. And if anyone doesn't like it, I'm like, fuck you, it's Pride. That's what I do. I probably say that all year round, but I don't know. I just feel like, how dare you come for me and what I deserve during my fucking month? I get like real defensive because it's Pride. It's really great. I already ordered some things off of Target.com, and I can't wait to go to Target and drink my Starbucks and walk around and look at the Pride selection. Hopefully this year it won't be pushed to the back of the fucking store like it was in, I guess, last year and maybe the year before, because of the assholes that make a fucking scene and make Target feel like their employees might be in danger because of anti-gay people that go to the store and make a fucking scene about it, and then make up shit about the merchandise. Like, what was it? They were like, well, there was actually a pair of, I don't know if it was underwear or shorts or something that would allow trans female youth to like tuck. I do believe that was a thing, and it fucking should have been, and fucking amen to Target for fucking doing that, because it needs to be a thing, especially in states like ours where like they're outlawing gender affirming care for trans people and queer people. And so, like, if you can't have hormone therapy, if you can't have, blockers, if you can't have, eventually when you're an adult, a reassignment surgery or something, then you're going to need some fucking panties you can tuck in. Or, like, something you could slip what do they call that? The dildo thing that the trans men use to create a bulge. I don't think it's a dildo. They have a name. It's not called a stuffer, but I think it's called a stuffer. But anyway, like, there needs to be garments for these things, because these people who feel a certain way feel that they were assigned probably incorrectly at birth. They need to be able to feel like themselves. And in a lot of situations, they need to be able to like pass as the gender they feel like, for their own safety too. Like, I know trans kids who are coming up in schools around here, and I'm just like, part of what like keeps them safe is being able to be like passing as the gender that they feel that they are. I mean, I was non-binary. I mean, I guess I still am. There was a lot going on with me, and like, being overweight as a kid, and being queer, and then having a lot of body dysmorphia and gender dysmorphia, and like just like dysmorphic all around, and eating disorders and shit. And it just like, my body was just like this amorphous blob, and I couldn't make head or tails of it. I heard the other day, I heard someone say, I can't tell my ass from a hole in the ground. And I thought that was the fucking funniest version of that I've ever heard. That was me when I was a teenager. Anyway, Pride's coming up. Target, Starbucks, get at. Let's move on. What the fuck am I taking so long to do these videos for? Here's our next one. This next one I actually do remember. It's from an OnlyFans creator, and their name is Ace Carter. He's really cute. I found him on Twitter because I saw he had a big fucking bush. I think he is uncut also. And he just looks like fucking American guy, just like, but somehow uncut. Just like jock looking. He's like really hot. Just like white guy, bluish green eyes, bushy brown hair, curly hair. Oh my God. Like, it's hard to believe he's gay. And he might not be, but he's doing some pretty impressive gay porn on his OnlyFans. Okay, so this is the video.
Yo, this is a response to the allegations from yesterday's video. If you're not familiar, me and another content creator made a gay incest fantasy 10-second video where I role played as dad and he was my son, and we fucked. This video performed way better than anything I've been posting recently, and it was also the most controversial thing that I've ever posted. A lot of people liked the video. I got a plethora of DMs saying so, but there was also a very loud minority in the comment sections and DMs calling me a pedophile and saying things like I should be raped, yada, yada, yada. Now, the point of this video is not to apologize, because I'm not apologizing. It's to call out the stupidity and hypocrisy of this loud minority that was going off the rails yesterday. Now, granted, I know that Spiky D and I were the first ones to ever think of doing gay incest fantasy porn. Oh, we weren't? Okay, well, besides the point, I still painted this other creator in a very innocent and damning light. Oh, there's other creators that do.
Okay, so when that little doink 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 sound is happening there, he's popping up examples of other like times that there's been porn such as that. So he did, I guess he did a video, I haven't seen it, where he was acting like a dad and his son was, he was fucking his son or something. And there's a lot of porn like that. There's a lot of incest porn out there. And it's really funny because, well, I love how I say it's really funny when I don't actually mean it's funny at all. Oh, America, the things we say. It's interesting, let's say. Okay, I do think it's interesting that, and I've talked about this before. I actually had an episode a while, like I think in season 1, where we brought up incest, and it's a hot button issue. I mean, it is like you can't talk about certain things. You can't talk about pedophilia. You can't talk about incest, and actually, they kind of go hand in hand. In a lot of advocacy communities. I don't know how to say that. Like there's like a what is it? The RAIN. RAIN is like the rape and incest network something. So when they say incest in that scenario, they're talking about obviously sexual abuse or rape that is done by usually like a parent to their child, or you know a family member, an older family member to a younger family member, and it's usually done, like I said, to a child or someone who's like they can't like fend for themselves. You know, they don't have the power to say no, and they are manipulated a lot of times, and it's like really unfortunate. So in a very literal sense, that is incest, and that is no good. I mean, sexual abuse is no good. Okay, rape is no good. We know that. Okay. But then there is this thing where incest porn happens. And that being said, I mean, rape porn happens too. I don't personally find rape porn attractive. I don't like porn where... I don't really like porn where one person isn't into it and the other person is. Like, I like porn where both people are into it. That's what I like. And sometimes... maybe it's like extremely fictionalized. Like maybe if it's incest porn, because I do get down with some incest porn. Okay, guys, like I'm just gonna like admit that. It's usually like father son, of course. Did I want to have sex with my dad? Absolutely not. I would never have. I found him very, very repulsive a lot of my upbringing. And that was in part because I hated him for a long time. but also I just like did not find my dad attractive. And I can look back and say my dad was handsome. I'm actually looking at a picture of my dad right now, and it's a very handsome picture, but I chose probably like the most handsome picture that I could find of him to remember him fondly. That sounds like I'm into my dad. That whole thing sounds like I'm into my dad. Okay, sorry. I also have friends that would hear this and be like, ew, 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 stop. Why are you always bringing up incest? This is a sex podcast, guys. Okay, don't want to have sex with my dad. I don't want to have sex with any of my brothers. I don't want to have sex with any of my actual relatives. But for some reason, incest porn appeals to me. And I think it has something to do with like acceptance. It has something to do with like love. It has something to do with like tenderness. It's like very much like, I mean, in the gay community, we call hot men daddies. We say, hey, daddy, what's up? I mean, it's all based on that like man love, father son bond. Like, you know, like it's so funny too. Like in the States, like you can't actually have porn between two real like blood related relatives. But in other parts of the world, you literally can. And I've seen it. I've seen like two twins have sex with each other. And a lot of people would say that's fucking disgusting. You know, what's so funny is I brought that up the other day to somebody who I thought would just be like repulsed by what I said. I can't even remember who it was. And they were like, I don't give a shit. If it's two twins and they are of age and they, want to have sex with each other, like I don't give a shit. That's fine. Whatever. Do it. Two consenting adults, whatever. And I feel that way too, you know. Also, in porn, a lot of times, like the two people having sex, just they want to get paid. You know, they're sex workers. They want to get paid. They're like, I mean, maybe they want to have sex and have it be hot and have the performance. I have to open this water bottle. Oh, I knew that was gonna be loud. I didn't want you to think there was a rat scurrying around my room. Hold on. Oh my god. I was so thirsty. I hope nobody has misophonia because that was a lot. That was a lot of ASMR. I'm just gonna keep the bottle open so I can keep chugging throughout. Oh my god, my fucking intestines just exploded. Okay. I hope those noises weren't recorded. I'm doing no editing. I don't have time. You're getting all the gurgles, everything. Okay, what is this? What is this where you're like, you feel like temperately okay, and then you chug some water, and then all of a sudden you start sweating? What is this? What is this? All right. So, yeah, porn is not real. Okay, and everyone knows that, and that's a part of it. I also really like that there's certain things about porn that are super taboo. Like, see, people say you shouldn't do this, and then porn sometimes says, fuck you, we're doing it, whatever. We're going to do whatever we want. This is make-believe. This is fiction. This is fantasy. And, like, people have all different kinds of fantasies. And by the way, like, I know that, like, and I say this all the time, and so many people don't understand this. And I don't know if they think I don't know what they think I'm saying when I say this. But I hear people say all the time that, like, the world has never been as terrible and as bad as it is today. And I would like to just remind you that some really fucking bad shit used to happen back in the day. And bad shit has always happened, okay? It is unfortunately within human nature to be fucking evil at times and to do terrible things. And there is, do I want to say duplicitousness? There's a duplicity in all people. You know, people do good things and bad things. People can be good and bad. I love so much, like, I recently, what did I fucking watch? I watched a show. Was it The fucking Last of Us? I think maybe it was where they just played with like, am I a good person? Am I a bad person? That was a common theme in that show, and it was just like in the end, this is a post-apocalyptic world, and we just have to fucking survive and try to keep those we love alive. So you're gonna have to do bad shit, and you're gonna have to do good shit, and there's no way to do just one. It was very interesting, but I'm not saying like we should try to do bad shit because it's just in our nature, but it is in our nature to do bad shit sometimes. It is in our nature to act selfishly sometimes. It is in our nature to try to preserve our dignity or, whatever. At times, it is in our nature to occasionally lie for our own well being or the well being of those we love and care about. Um, and I think that we naturally have urges and fantasies and things like that. Like, for instance, I was talking to a friend the other day and I was like, have you ever like had a dream where like something sexy could happen and you were like, no, 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 I can't do that. That's wrong. Like there was someone in front of you and you just wanted to reach out and grab their dick and stick it in your mouth, but like you were like, no, 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 this person didn't give me a permission to grab their dick and stick it in my mouth. And it's like, but you're sleeping and you're like, this is a dream. This isn't real. This isn't real at all. And at some level, you're like, can I even have fantasies? You know, like, is it absolutely so important to ask for consent in real life for, anything sexual? Yes. But if I'm dreaming, is consent necessary anymore? Am I actually hurting anybody? Am I perverting my own mind, or is like am I already perverted because the big red button is right there and they're telling me don't press it, and I'm like, well, I'm fucking sleeping and it's my dream. I want to press it. It's like I don't know. I don't do I have to act like a fucking saint when I'm sleeping? It's just all these things. I mean, it's so funny too. I with the Me Too movement, and then like everything with Black Lives Matter, and we went into the pandemic. A lot changed. Like there's a lot of things that I don't feel comfortable saying nowadays that I would have said before all that. And I don't want to go back to saying things that I used to say that I think were terribly ignorant. Um, and I won't allow certain things to be said around me. It's just absolutely unacceptable. I won't be complicit in racism or violence or things like that. Um, but I did used to have a belief in freedom of speech that I think I don't know if I've lost any of my ability to be free. I'm not saying that I'm not free to speak freely because other people can also now speak freely. Or that me not saying certain things that I used to say, like, in some way keeps me from having freedom of speech. Like, it really doesn't. Like, I really just, certain things I just don't need to say. Honestly, I don't need to try to tell someone else's story. I don't really need to talk about issues that I don't fucking know anything about. You know what I mean? Of course, I'm a podcaster, so occasionally I'm going to have to. And I'm literally playing other people's videos and talking about them right now. So, wow. But that's what I'm saying. There's this duplicity, there's this hypocrisy. Like, we're just naturally kind of confused. And we try to be good, and then sometimes we're a little bit bad. And I do want to be a good person. I don't want to hurt myself or anybody else, but I want to have naughty little wet dreams. I want to watch incest porn sometimes. Um, but again, I find it hot when, and this is true with like gay for pay porn too. Like, I don't want, a straight guy to be pressured into having sex for money. But that's the thing, like, in all these videos, there's always this point where you can tell the guy's like, yeah, I want the money, but I also, like, kind of like this. Like, I don't know what's going on. Kind of, it's kind of hot. That for me is super hot. It's like this, like, it's like watching a person come to enlightenment about their sexuality. Not that they're, oh, I said I was straight, but now I'm gay. No, it's just like you can be whatever you fucking want to be, but right now there's some sex in front of you and it's like sexy and hot and you're like into it. And that's all that fucking matters. We don't have to label ourselves at all. I think I was talking to someone the other day about how like Gen Zs, like, and like the alphas that are coming up and like these like younger generations, like they aren't even going to have to say I'm gay or straight because like that's just not necessary. Like you can literally just date whomever you want and like do whatever you want with whomever you want if they want to do that with you. You know, it's just like I can't even imagine because when I was coming up, labels were everything. Labels were everything in the 90s and in the new millennium. And I just feel like we don't need them anymore. And it's so funny because in some ways we're still trying to label everything and give everything a term and a category. But the alphabet, the LGBTQIA plus alphabet is so vast now. It doesn't even encompass a community. We're not a community. I always say like LGBTQIA plus and ally communities because it includes our allies. And we're not one community. And there's intersectionality at that. So you can't even say all gay men because there's black gay men, Asian gay men, white gay men. There's just so many things. It's a lot. Incest is cool sometimes if it's in porn. Not in real life necessarily. But I think the thing is, it's like if it's siblings. If siblings are around the same age and they like each other like that, I don't think they should be having children because I think that is no good. I think we've learned from, watching Royalty that you shouldn't be fucking, if you can get pregnant, you shouldn't be fucking your relatives because that could be bad for your genetic line. But if it's gay incest between consenting adults, I think that's fine. Now, there is too much of a weird mental power thing in real life for a son and a father to actually be together like that. I think that's really damaging for the child. So we shouldn't, that should probably not happen. This is a very weird conversation to have. Nobody probably wants to have it but me. But I hope there's someone listening is like, this isn't great, but he has a point. I hope you know that I just have a point. Like, I want to talk about this shit. Of course, I don't have a guest on to talk about it with me. But that's the thing. When a previous episode, when I did bring up incest, later on, that guest felt like really uncomfortable with the knowledge that that was out there because we talked about it. And, I guess we live in a world too where like you could talk about how you have feelings or that you're not sure about this or that, and you could be blacklisted. I don't want to live in a world where people can get blacklisted for expressing their thoughts and feelings in an open space, in a safe space for communication. I want that to be alive and well. That's what I want. That's the freedom of speech I want. But, that's a big difference. That's a far cry from, going, I don't know, to a public space and yelling obscenities or like, protesting at a funeral, a military funeral. Like the fucking, was that fucking church? The Westboro Baptist Church. They used to say that like the United States government was a bunch of fag enablers, and they'd go to military funerals and protest the funerals and say terrible things to the grieving families of these lost, American heroes. Um, yeah, that's no good. That's not the freedom of speech we are talking about. That's obstruction of no, that's not obstruction of justice. That's disturbing the peace. And that's being a fucking bigot in more ways than one. But I'm talking about we create safe spaces, and podcasts can be that because you don't have to listen to my podcast, right? Podcasts can be safe spaces where we can actually say, okay, this is how I feel. This is how I'm feeling. These are the thoughts I'm having. I want to make sense of it. And I want other people to share their thoughts and feelings as well. And I don't just want to have people on my show that are agreeing with me, which I've had a lot of, and that's nice. I'd like to have more people on my show that I could have like heated debates with, working towards it. It's hard to get people on your show that disagree with you, especially because there's this feeling of like, I want to record a whole separate section in post and just dump all over them afterwards. But then again, you can't always do that because then you won't get those kinds of guests anymore. They're going to be like, oh, you're going to like record me talking and then sidebar dump all over me. I want to. Okay, I got off on another tangent. Let's listen to one more video. And this is it.
I will never forget it. The year was 1981. I was 19 years of age when little Marty, who'd already been on the strolls since she was 15 in 1977, because I'm one of those transgender throwaways from the 1970s. Yes, there is trans women that survived that long, just a very few of us. But there was a lot of us back then, but it was just too hard to survive because it was really hard. If you couldn't be stealth, you were kaput. So on Jervis and Comox, when I was peddling my papayas one afternoon in Vancouver, I met Peter, and my friends called him Yoda because he looked kind of like a Yoda. I met him as a client, and the first night, the first time that we went to someplace so we could like get to know each other, I broke down and started crying about just my life and everything. I didn't tell him I was trans or transsexual was the word back then, but it's like I just said, oh my god, that I was thrown away. I was hurt by my parents and stuff, and I had to run away because it was safer to be out here than there. And he took pity on me, and he just completely fell in love with me and wanted to take care of me. I think he was one of those people that had a savior complex, and boy did I ever milk that one. So he got me a place to live, and he got me he furnished it, and all I had to do was go out for dinner with him once a week, and I'd be all dressed up to the nines, and I'd just be like a trophy, going into these fancy restaurants with him. And then, on the way home, I always had a roommate, so it made it more difficult for him to come in. I had a daughter, like, not my daughter, but, a street daughter that I helped put her through makeup school. Actually, Peter helped put her through makeup school, and she lived with me, and so it was a deterrent for him to get, nasty with me, right? And I was always acting like the poor little, goddess that, just needed to be loved and adored type of thing. And he got really into that, and we started playing. I think he was into that goddess worship stuff where you didn't have to go all the way type of thing, which is perfect for, a pre-op trans woman, that girl that was, living life as a stealth cis girl. Being unable to disclose to him drove me absolutely crazy and fueled my drug addiction. When he took me shopping, I would make him follow behind me with my bags. I don't know if the goddess worship wore off or he found out who I was, but he just stopped showing up one day.
Okay, so that was a really long video. Sorry. That was what's it? Marty Pants on Instagram. She is a trans woman, and I just found her. I was on the toilet and I found her, and she. Oh shit! Sorry. She is like so funny, but she's so gorgeous, and she Sorry, I'm getting stuck into a loop. I just want to look her up so I can like tell you her actual real name. Who is this beautiful muscle guy? What the fuck? Why is the algorithm just like, look at these muscle men, and then I have to go and see if they have an OnlyFans? Okay, let's just follow him so I can look at him later. Oh god, he's so gorgeous. Okay, so Marty, like Mardi Gras. Oh, I spelled it wrong. Marty Pants, Pantz. Marty Pyronic, she, her, they. Oh, she, her, they, girl. Hey, girl. She's gorgeous. She's 62. And she's been a model and artist. She has some awesome videos about being trans. And being she got kicked out of her house when she was 15 and had to like make it on her own and had to do sex work and had to do, she was working in clubs and performing and doing all this shit. And like she talks about like trying to be a model and trying to get out of like, she called it something like the survival arts, like just like the things you have to do to survive. And she said that like she was stealth, which is a term that I need to look up. She's like, I hate that term, but she says it all the time. See, what does stealth mean? Wait, stealth refers to a moving or acting in a covert, secretive, or sneaky manner in order to avoid detection. Is that what that means, even in the context of drag? Or not drag, but in trans life. A stealth trans woman passes as a cisgender woman. A stealth trans man passes as a cisgender man. Another form of this is called birth stealth. Birth stealth. That sounds really intense. So she was, I've just always said passing, which also is probably kind of like, I mean, it's all cringe because it's like, okay, so what? So I pass as a white person, so what? My life is easier? Like, what? Does it, the fact that that is maybe even true means that we live in a system that's fucking horribly flawed and it's not perfect for anybody, but especially not a person of color, even if they're passing, right? So stealth is just as cringe. I've always thought of stealth as being like crafty, quick, fast moving. I never thought of it as like secretive or sneaky. But I guess there's some connotations there. But anyway, that video had to do with the fact that she had this male friend, admirer, who used to buy her shit and take care of her. And she lived a life where if she couldn't say no to somebody who was willing to pay for shit because she was like super struggling, and then she was addicted to drugs, which happens to a lot of people who get kicked out of their houses at 15, especially trans people who have nowhere to turn, can't really get normal fucking jobs because no one's willing to hire them. And I mean, like, this Marty said that she went out for a modeling gig and they said, like, you're gonna have to get that taken care of, and they meant her nose, because at the time, like, she had a slight she called it like her Polish bump or something, just a slight little ridge in her nose, and like, you're gonna have to get that taken care of and then lose 15 pounds. And this picture, I'm looking at her, she's like, this is before I lost 15 pounds, and she looked fucking gorgeous. And so she's like, I went and got a nose job and I lost 15 pounds and I went back, and she was like, oh, amazing, we're gonna sign you, awesome. And then she said that this guy in the room said, wait, hold on a second, pulled the woman aside, and she said it was some fucking gay guy that worked for the agency. And the woman came back and said, I'm sorry, we're not going to hire you. We don't hire transsexuals. And it was like, excuse me? But that was probably in the 90s, right? But oh my God, like, talk about not being able to get a fucking honest job, right? And then so you have to turn to other shit. And so this video I just so telling because um she said that she kind of dated this guy in a more platonic way for upwards of 3 years. And then one day he just stopped coming around. And she's like, I don't know if he found out that I was trans, but we never like were intimate. Or maybe he just gave up on not being intimate. But it's like he was around for 3 years. If the intimacy was what he really wanted, I don't think he would have stuck around that long. But he also could have just like gotten hit by a truck or something. But she'll never know, right? And in her mind, she thinks that he found out she was trans and then never wanted to see her again. It's really intense, okay? Like it's a lot easier now, but it's still not. I mean, like the the amount of specifically trans women who are murdered is so high still, and there's still not enough justice for these people. Like missing and murdered Black and Indigenous women, like that's a huge demographic, and it always has been in this country, and it will continue to be until we fucking do something about it. Um, but a lot of those women are trans women. Also, like that needs to be said. Trans women or gender queer or non-binary or two-spirit. Um, it's really, really bad because I think gender queerness of any kind um, really fucks with the gender binary, and that really threatens a lot of people, or at least they feel threatened by it. You know, maybe we can understand homosexuality because I mean that makes things a little bit confusing, but it doesn't threaten. Like, you people can go over there and do your thing over there, but we're over here. But now if you're telling us that gender is, you know, a socially constructed thing, that threatens our gender stability or whatever, and if you're telling us that, you know, all people can express themselves any way they want as far as gender is concerned or sexuality is concerned, then oh God, our children aren't safe. Our grandma's over there banging a chick with a dick over there. You know, it's like, well, fucking good for her. If she's having fun, good for fucking her. I'd like to be doing that. That sounds fucking hot. Thanks. Um, yeah. it's a hard, it's a hard, it's a hard world we live in now, but it has been a hard world for all of human history. And in some ways, this is why I don't like when people say it's worse now than ever before, because I do believe that in some ways we are closer than ever to being in a place where we choose love first. I think more and more people understand that we don't all have to agree to find, you know, harmony. That there's room at the table for all sorts, and we all get a voice at the table, and we don't have to be of one voice, but we do all have to respect each other and make room for each other and be compassionate. Kindness and compassion are the two most important elements to a long-lasting relationship. I remember hearing that once and it stuck with me. They ask, like, you know, couples that have been married for like 70 years. They're like, what's the secret to long-lasting, healthy relationships? And they said, you know, we were always kind to one another. We always were compassionate. And if we weren't, we checked ourselves before we wrecked ourselves. We were like, whoa, let's take a step back. How do we move forward in kindness and compassion? I think those are the most important things. Honestly. Is that the end of this episode? It is, because if I go over an hour, it can't be a quickie-sode. But maybe it's not a quickie-sode. All of these ones I've been intending to make quickie-sodes have ended up being like much too long. So, but whatever. Hey guys, we're getting really close to 100 episodes. Shut up. Shut up. And if you count all the quickie-sodes and all of the little specials we've done and whatnot, we probably have done 100 or more recordings. And then there's some recordings that weren't aired, or along the way, or got pulled for whatever reason. But we're probably going to hit our 100 anniversary. Yeah, 100 episode anniversary at the end of summer, it's looking like. So that's so exciting. I'd like to hit that before we take a break. Sometimes podcasts take a summer break, and sometimes they take a holiday break. I don't know. We might need to hit that record before we take a break. Or maybe we won't take a break. I don't know. This isn't the worst job in the world. This doesn't require that much of my time and energy. But anyway, thank you guys so much for listening. Please rate, review, subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts. And if you'd like, you can email us at makesexwithmepodcast@gmail.com. And what was that thing Oprah said about your holes? Shaved holes are better holes? I don't believe it. I just hope that whatever holes you've got, you're treating them the way you want your holes to be treated. And I hope that you're filling all of your holes with whatever makes you happy. Bye!